So one of the things that obviously I wanted you to come to the station to talk about is about the Unitarian Church becoming a sanctuary for undocumented immigrants at a time when undocumented immigrants are under siege by the current administration, and the fear that families are experiencing right now in having a place like a church, which in history, churches were always sanctuary, but now you are actually making an affirmation of that sanctuary status for the Unitarian Church. Tell us about how that came about and what does it mean?
Okay. Let me say first that for me, the kind of sanctuary status the church needs to be committed to is twofold. One aspect of it is that the church voted in April to become a sanctuary congregation. April or the end of March? Anyway, last spring. And they voted to commit themselves to being a sanctuary church, meaning, as you say, that we are preparing ourselves to be a place where an individual or a family will be able to stay inside the church and be safe if somebody who has undocumented status and is at risk. The second piece of this that I think we also need to be very mindful of is that if every single church in Rhode Island said they were going to take in a family or an individual who's undocumented, that would not meet the need. That wouldn't come close to meeting the need. And that's true for all our churches everywhere. The need is so much greater. So part of the sanctuary commitment that I think we need to be paying attention to is making sure that the sanctuary status that's being affirmed in Providence by the mayor and others, by a number of leaders, which is so wonderful, making sure that we're really clear about what that means and what that offers people, and that we're communicating it very thoroughly, and that it's 100% solid, and people believe it's 100% solid, so that the undocumented immigrants who are living here and feeling themselves to be unsafe and therefore sometimes not availing themselves of services that they need, not being able to be present or participating in communities and events that they should be present for, don't feel like they need to avoid them or hide from them, because we're talking about a kind of sanctuary that is loose and not clear enough that people can really rely on it. So there's the sanctuary status within the church, but there also needs to be the sanctuary status beyond the walls of the church that the church is also committed to.
Okay.
So, should I stop?
Right. Yeah. And it's also interesting that you have votes to do these kinds of things, which, you just don't see that in the church. Entonces,
it was an overwhelming vote, almost 90% of the church, which is huge.
90% of the church voted for, así que no.